Morning, welcome back to the channel. It's been a couple of weeks now since I've done a video. It's 2 weeks to the day actually, because I've done the preview for the season just before the Arsenal game. Haven't managed to do one since, so long overdue, and a lot has happened in these 2 weeks, so there's plenty to talk about. Look, I think touching on, if we go back to the start of the season, touch on the Arsenal game first, and obviously we saw the performance against Arsenal, and barring that one goalkeeping mistake from Bayern Deer for the corner for Arsenal's goal, I think we were the better team. We came out, we started well, we started strong, created some decent chances, but that same old story again of not being able to take our chances, and we were punished for it. You know, we definitely deserved something out of the game. Wow, there's a lot of wind. We definitely deserved something out of the game, and you know, we were unlucky to lose. Probably should have drawn that one. Then last weekend, away to Fulham, again, started well, started strong, created some chances. Should have been 3-0 up after 20 minutes. Cunha had an amazing start, created some very, very good chances, but again, couldn't put the ball in the net. And lapses in concentration at the back, individual errors, and we conceded and came away from Fulham with a draw. Then obviously that disaster against Grimsby midweek, and everything that went with it, including the reaction after the game. Look, there's no sugarcoating it. It was an absolutely abysmal performance. We didn't deserve anything out of the game. Ruben Amorim said it himself, the better team won, and they were. I honestly think the players just, obviously look, they didn't turn up, but I think they almost too lackadaisy about it, about Grimsby. They didn't really show them any respect, I don't think. They thought they could turn up and come away with a victory, but wasn't to be. Grimsby put it on them, and they were the better team and deservedly went through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. You know, you go out and look, all this online stuff then you see after the game, Ruben with his tactics board and all the media backlash and all these pundits, so-called experts, criticising Ruben Amorim for being on the bench with his tactic board and all that stuff, not watching the penalty shootout. I mean, I've seen, wind is picking up. Apologies if you can't hear me very well, but yeah, look, I mean, Ruben Amorim being criticised for not watching the penalty shootout. I've seen a lot of evidence of other managers turning their back when either a penalty shootout or just a standard penalty in a game is being taken. Jurgen Klopp being one, famously never watched a penalty at Liverpool, turned and waited for the crowd's reaction. Ancelotti was the same. There's countless other managers in the Premier League have done a similar thing, but because it's United, it's instant scrutinising of a manager who's under a lot of pressure, has to be said, but there's been evidence on the pitch that his system is working, and he was criticised again for that, obviously because of the result at Grimsby. But that Grimsby result was not down to the system, it was down to the performance of the 11 players on the pitch. Onana was just an absolute disgrace, and I will be very surprised if Andre Onana plays for Man United again. Deer hasn't covered himself in glory either the last couple of weeks, and we're still looking at Sen Lemen from Royal Antwerp to come in. I think a lot of people have said he was going to come in and challenge Onana for the number 1 spot. It's starting to look like he'll be coming in and challenging Deer. Deer is starting to look like the favoured goalkeeper, but as I said, he hasn't covered himself in glory either. And he can nearly make the case that Sen Lemens now will come in. He can make the case now that Sen Lemen will come in and be the number 1. But he's only 23. There's a lot of pressure on a young kid to come in, being number 1 at Man United. Time will tell. As of this morning, we are throwing in another bid for Emi Martinez at Villa, and at the moment it looks like it's the backup option in case we don't get Sen Lemen. We'll be looking at Emi Martinez. Personally, I've said it before about Martinez, I don't rate him. Now, let me be clear. He's a World Cup winning goalkeeper. He's a decent keeper. My God, this wind. But Emi Martinez is a decent keeper. But for me, he's not enough of an upgrade on Andre Onana. To be going out and spending 45 million on him. Now, I think that's why originally I think the first offer was a loan deal, but I think given that we're going back in from him, I'd say we're probably looking at a permanent deal for him. But going back to yesterday's game against Burnley. We saw a similar thing again. We started strong. We should have been out of sight by half time. The amount of chances that we created and spurned ultimately again. Those not taking those chances nearly cost us. Cunha going off injured after, was it 20 minutes, 25 minutes? What looked like a hamstring. The only positive is he wasn't sprinting full speed when he pulled up, so you'd be hoping that he just felt a tweak. Maybe it's just a precaution from him. And I think he was seen leaving Old Trafford walking without crutches, walking unaided. He didn't seem to have any kind of a limp. So hopefully it's just a tweak of the muscle and mightn't be out too long. And then obviously Mount was changed at half time, and I think he had picked up a little injury as well, and we completely changed how we played after the two of them went off. Cunha was our most attacking threat in the first half. Mount, obviously, we've seen what he can do off the ball, his pressing. And we kind of lost that attack and threat in the second half and allowed Burnley back into it. So, and again, it was individual errors, lapses in concentration that cost us the goals, allowed Burnley in to score. And a 95th, 96th minute penalty from Bruno Fernandes, the saviour yet again, got us the 3 points. Look, it wasn't by any means, it wasn't a vintage United victory, but it was a victory. Much needed 3 points for United. And hopefully now this is the catalyst for United going forward. But look, we're going into an international break now. It's another 2 weeks before United play again, which hopefully doesn't have a negative impact, because we've seen that in the past. Team starts getting results, playing well, then the international break comes and it all kind of falls apart. I don't think that's going to be the case. There's a lot of probably players there that probably mightn't go away on international duty. Ruben seems to think that he'll have the majority of the squad for the 2 weeks. So hopefully there's time to keep working on different things, and we can hopefully sort out the goalkeeping situation over the next 48 hours before the window closes. Hopefully we can get another midfielder, because we've seen over those few games, those being massive gaps are still there in midfield, still a concern, and we're going to need to sign a defensive midfielder with an engine, that can allow Bruno, Cobby to play in front and kind of dictate the play, almost have a free role in that midfield, where that defensive midfielder then can sit back in front of the defence and be a bit more solid at the back. Manchester Derby in 2 weeks away at the Etihad. It's a massive opportunity. City haven't been playing well, so it's a massive opportunity for us to go and stick it on them in 2 weeks. Ultimately, it's been an okay start of the season. Look, it hasn't been perfect, but 4 points out of a possible 9. Arguably we should have had 9, but still, look, it's a strong start to the season. We've beaten a newly promoted team, we've beaten a top half team, and we've beaten we've lost against the title challenging team. So not a bad start. We've been playing well. We just need to start taking those chances, and I think we'll be alright. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.